Dane, obviously it's a big couple of days, mate, for the players. I guess everyone in the footy industry, give us a bit of your feelings about how it's all gone down.
Yeah, mate, it's been pretty crazy. Obviously, unprecedented. Definitely the word that's been thrown around the most. But yeah, interesting. And I guess we've got to get on with the job now. And having that little bit of uncertainty, I guess, surrounding what was happening and having a decision made for us now is good. And we're ready. And we're excited to play, regardless of what the decision is. We're absolutely hell-bent on getting to Adelaide and getting the 4 points. As you can imagine, we've been training for a lot longer than we have in the past, the pre-season, but really looking forward to starting and getting off on the right foot for this season.
What's it been like? Obviously, clubs are keeping you guys in smaller groups and that sort of thing, but has that affected you guys anyway? Does it feel much different to its lead up, or you being in the club and in the footy bubble, do you think that's helped you? How do you work all that out?
Yeah, well, I think the credit to the club, they've been really proactive. I mean, before the decision was even made regarding the 17-round season fixture, we were put into small groups, and that's placed across. We had leaders spread across, defenders, ruckmen, just taking precautions that should someone end up contracting the virus, which is in all likelihood going to be the case. That's only who we'll have to isolate. It is different, but we've all been briefed on it. We're all comfortable with it, and we're all convinced that we're going to be in. We would have hopefully managed it as good as possible when the virus does eventually, well, hopefully not, but eventually make its way within the four walls.
Hi, mate. If like the country does go into a bit of a lockdown or something, obviously it's a prospect, but has there been any talk of how you boys would keep fit or anything like that?
How, where, what, sorry?
How you'd be able to keep fit from home and stuff like that?
No, not yet. I mean, it's kind of just been a week, obviously initially a week-by-week prospect, but now it's obviously down to the day. I dare say that'll all get worked out when the inevitable kind of lockdown period comes in. We'll be assessing where our list's at, what our training looks like going forward. But at the moment, it's probably more just about preparing for the games that we know might even be squeezed in a little bit closer than what they usually would be. And a lot of it's just around injury prevention and management at this stage. Staying fit and all that sort of stuff, we've done most of the work, we've done all the work, and we're confident of where we sit in that regard. But moving forward, I think that's something that we'll have to address as a football, I guess, management point of view, moving into that big break where we can kind of reassess and go from there.
Dane, you're someone who knows the world out there outside football. Were you surprised at all that the players voted so overwhelmingly in favour of going ahead this week? There's 88%.
If I'm going to be honest, I was a little bit surprised with the number in terms of it was 88%, did you say? I think I was a little bit surprised in that regard, but not surprised in the fact that we're all footballers and we love playing footy, and I think that's the main thing to push and to remind everyone out there is that we understand it's a really tricky situation affecting a lot of people, and but in saying that, obviously the industry as well, we've got a vested interest in looking after the AFL, not just from our own club's point of view, but from a broader industrial point of view. So I can understand it's incredibly tricky, and I'm glad I wasn't the one making the decision because either way I think you're treading a fine line. And but the reality is we've had the decision made for us, and we get to play footy, so we're wrapped. And if we can bring just a little bit of normality to people's lives, and I think that can only be taken as a good thing.
Dane, no doubt despite the craziness for this week, you've had a bit of time to put a bit of work into the Crows. Where do you think the Crows are at their strongest when you're looking at them on the park?
Well, I think the Crows are going to be buoyed by the fact that they've got a new coach and a new group, and you can never underestimate what a new outlook on and perspective on things brings. They've got a number of young new players, and obviously some some pretty consistent top end players such as like Tex Walker and Tom Lynch, who's been in great form the last couple of weeks. So there is a little bit unknown, to be honest, but you've got to be wary of those teams because as you've seen in the past, as we've all seen, teams with new coaches and fresh perspectives and go out there and have that freedom to play. And we'll be on edge coming over Adelaide, even though there's no crowd. We're just as eager to get on the right foot, and we're not treating them any lightly at all.
Rory Sloane played 200th game. What have you made of, how tough a competitor he's been in his career for Adelaide?
Yeah, that's obviously pretty incredible achievement. 200 games. He's one player you love watching and you love playing against because it seems like he's got the heart of a lion, and he just always competes, and which is what you want from your leaders. And I dare say he'll be fired up even more so his first game as captain, and he's a class player. We're expecting nothing less.
And what are you expecting from your group, the men's department down there? So going to have a couple of new faces. We would think that the teams to come out later. A back line without McVeigh, Grundy and Smith are obviously missing most of last year. How do you see the back end holding up?
Like I'm really excited by it. I'm bullish about our prospects. While we have lost a lot of experience, Smith, McVeigh, Grundy, those names you mentioned, we did play more than half a year without them last year, and I think the boys, especially over this pre-season, Alir, Jordan Dawson, I think's realised the value he can have not only on our team but across the competition. Callum Mills' leadership's taken another step. I'm really looking forward to what our backline can achieve, and it seems to be a group that, if we get it right, we're one that can stick together for hopefully the best part of a decade. So we're bullish about where we're at, but don't underestimate how much hard work's going to go in, and there's going to be bumps and bruises along the way. But as one of the senior members now, I'm really excited by it.
And in terms of the travel sort of practicalities and various logistical things, have you been walked through exactly how it's all going to look? I suppose how different it's actually going to be.
We'll be walking through that. We'll be getting led through that this afternoon. Obviously, the team will be announced. We haven't actually been told yet, so the squad that's going over to Adelaide will be briefed on what's happening. But our point of view is just another way to unite one another. They're difficult circumstances. Haven't experienced any of this before, but if we can look at it as a glass half full approach and think that we're going to make the most of it and use this as a chance to bond and see something through together, then I think we'll be all right.
And what about in terms of the travel factor? I suppose you talked about in previous seasons in a different sense, but with what's going on and the uncertainty in coming days and weeks, do you hope that the AFL takes this into account?
I dare say they will. And again, that's something that's completely out of our control. We've already spoken about as a collective that these are just part of the experiences that we're going to have to face this year. And there's only one way to look at it, and that's in a positive mindset. So we'll take whatever comes at us. Obviously the travel isn't ideal, but it's the reality, and we're going to have to deal with it. And we think we're mature enough now, and we've got strong enough leadership to see us through that.
So, and at the other end, obviously, you'd love to have Lance Franklin and Sam Reid there as your targets, but obviously they're not going to be there. Do you think you guys have the goal to beat Adelaide and Essendon, I guess, a couple of weeks after until Lance and Sam do get back? Because, Tom McCartan, Nick Blakey are pretty young. The rest of the guys, Tom Papley, Haywood, they're dangerous, they're all small. How do you see the forward line sort of working?
Yeah, obviously we'd love to have Reedy and Butt out there, but I think if you have a quick look in the past, we've seemed to, rise to the challenge of not having particularly Butt out there, and not saying would never say we're a better team without him, but it seems like those boys really take a sense of leadership and responsibility upon their shoulders, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do, particularly in this early part of the year when they're not going to have Butt out there. They're ready. We're confident. We're really confident in what they can bring. And I think particularly the inclusion of Sam Gray and Louis Taylor, who are just classy ball users, which is something we've probably fallen a bit shy of in the last few years. I think they're going to add a lot to our team, and I think that'll help shore us up in the front half for sure.
I was just asking you about is there any current environment and all the travel restrictions, etc. Is there any trepidation about actually being on a plane and travelling into another city and being away from the close environment you have? There's not an issue.
Yeah, there is a little bit, but yeah, as I've been saying, it's just the reality. We've been assured by the AFL and who have been assured by the government that it's safe and that they're taking all the necessary precautions. So we just have to take that at face value. The reality is we've got no idea, as players, what the best thing is for us in terms of a health and safety perspective. So we're just kind of rolling with the punches, and that's going to be an ongoing thing. I dare say it's going to probably change. The way we travel this week will probably be different to the way we travel in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks' time. So it's pretty interesting, but again, we're just going to deal with it the best way we can, and hopefully do it better than any other team.
We'll just take one more.